Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
34-year-old Florida resident Mitchell Gardner was seen and heard on video outside the Lower West Terrace tunnel. He was yelling for others in the mob to, quote, pull the police out, pull the cops out, and, quote, grab their hands and pull them out. Gardner and others in the mob somehow managed to obtain a large device that was used or supposed to be used by the Metropolitan Police Department to spray rioters. And they were taking turns using it to spray chemicals at the police. And this was done in very close range because Gardner and the others were standing right outside the tunnel entrance, and they were spraying the officers who were fighting off the mob at the mouth of that tunnel. The prosecutor says that Gardner only stopped using the device when it ran out of chemicals. Gardner then moved over to a large window. He urged others to break it. You guys might remember this. I mentioned this in another segment yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. It was that arched window that we saw people breaking into and climbing into the building. And he was yelling, quote, do it for Trump. And he repeatedly screamed to the crowd, quote, break it. Break that fucking window. Then he directed others to move a ladder over to the window, and he was seen and heard on video yelling for them to, quote, get it to the window. Then once Gardner was up on the window ledge, he used that empty police canister to smash in the glass. So this window led to a Senate office. We've all seen the photos and videos of, like I said, the people breaking the window, but also inside that room. And Gardner was helping other people climb up on the ledge. He helped them climb into the building. Then eventually he entered the building himself. Once he was inside, he was seen directing people. He went back to the window to wave for others to join him inside the building. He was also continuing to help others climb inside. And then at one point, he stuck his upper body out of the window and he raised his arms in the air like, victory, like Nixon. And then he was seen pumping his fists in the air. In addition, he was handing out broken pieces of furniture to the mob to be used as weapons against the police. He handed out a broken table leg, and it had a nail sticking out of the end. That, as you guys might recall, was used by a guy wearing a Jack Skellington costume. His name was Josiah Kenyon. Kenyon used that piece of furniture with the nail to strike at officers in the tunnel. And Gardner continued to break the other side of the window to allow people in. Like I said, it was an arched window, so it had two pieces on the arch part. So he broke the second part once he was inside, I believe. And so more people were able to get in and out of the building easier. That office was completely trashed. The furniture was all broken. It was overturned. The windows, like I said, were destroyed. A door was missing. There was blood smeared on the wall. And even after Gardner exited the building, he remained outside the tunnel. So he was cheering others on as they were attacking the police with weapons, with chemicals, their fists. But sometime later, Gardner joined in with the others. He started pushing against the police inside the tunnel. So Gardner was arrested on June 25th of 2021, and he was charged with civil disorder, obstructing an official proceeding, assaulting officers with a dangerous weapon, destruction of government property, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, 2 counts of physical violence, and demonstrating in a Capitol. In June of 2022, Gardner pleaded guilty to civil disorder, obstructing an official proceeding, and assaulting officers with a dangerous weapon. So based on the most serious crime, Gardner was facing up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. And this time, the government requested a pretty legitimate sentence, and they asked the judge to impose a terrorism enhancement. So that's something that can add more time to a person's sentence if the offense, they said, quote, was calculated to influence or affect the conduct of government by intimidation or coercion, or to retaliate against government conduct. So the prosecutor asked for 71 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $3,500 in restitution. The prosecutor also asked for an accounting of money that Gardner had received through Give, Send, Go. He set that up, and he has raised in excess of $14,000 so far. Depending on what that money was spent on, the government may request a fine for the full amount. They've done that before. You guys might recall the prosecutor made it clear that Gardner should not be allowed to profit off of these illegal actions. Surprisingly, Gardner has no convictions or arrests for violence. He does have a conviction for driving while impaired and then another for possession for the sale of drugs, but nothing else. Gardner is also one of the rare few who supposedly didn't support Trump in 2016. According to his attorney, Gardner voted for Obama in 2008 and 2012. And he said that he thought Trump's candidacy in 2016 was a joke. That was a direct quote, and also a publicity stunt. But the attorney claimed that Gardner, quote, flourished financially during Trump's presidency. And, quote, he was surrounded by people who only watched a certain media outlet, only believed and spread the misinformation that was now popular on most right-wing news channels and outlets. Gee, I wonder what news outlet she's referring to. And that kind of explains his Reagan-Bush sweatshirt with a Trump beanie, right? One of these things is not like the other. So anyway, U.S. District Judge Amit Mehta presided over this case, and the sentencing hearing transcript hasn't been released yet, but Judge Mehta sentenced Gardner to 55 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $3,500 in restitution. I wish he had given the prosecutor what they requested, especially for 3 felonies. And that restitution fee seems awfully low. You know, considering that the replacement alone for the window was estimated at $2,900, and the standard restitution fee typically is $2,000. So there was no mention of the $14,000 in donations that Gardner suckered people out of. So I'm hoping that they're going to address that later and after a review is complete. And the prosecutor made the request on March 14th, so they may still be reviewing that. So I will definitely let you guys know when and if I hear more. Thank you so much for watching and listening, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate. Please become a monthly supporter if you possibly can. Truly helps to keep the show going, and I greatly appreciate it. Love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.